Do mirror neurons explain moral behavior? Have you ever wondered why we feel compelled to help others or why we react emotionally when we see someone in pain? This brings us to an interesting question. Do mirror neurons explain moral behavior? Mirror neurons are special brain cells that activate when we perform an action and when we see someone else doing the same thing. They were first discovered in monkeys, but research shows they also play a role in humans. These neurons are closely linked to empathy, which is our ability to understand and share the feelings of others. Empathy is a key part of making ethical decisions and moral judgments. When we observe someone experiencing or suffering, our mirror neurons fire up, allowing us to feel a bit of what they are feeling. This connection suggests that mirror neurons might help explain why we often act in ways that are considered moral or altruistic. Studies indicate that when people have strong mirror neuron activity, especially in areas like the inferior frontal cortex, they tend to avoid harming others. For instance, if someone sees another person in pain, those with a strong response from their mirror neurons are more likely to choose actions that prevent harm. This shows that these neurons contribute to the emotional understanding that influences our moral choices. However, it is important to note that the influence of mirror neurons is not absolute. In some situations, people may rely on reasoning rather than their empathetic impulses. For example, if a greater good is at stake, individuals may decide to act differently, even if it means causing some harm. Beyond just empathy, mirror neurons help us understand the intentions behind others' actions. This ability to read intentions is vital for social interactions and moral reasoning. It allows us to infer why someone acts a certain way, which is essential for judging the moral context of their actions. Moreover, mirror neurons work alongside brain networks that help us understand the mental states of others, such as their beliefs and desires. This interaction aids us in predicting how others will behave and what they might be feeling, which further shapes our moral judgments. While mirror neurons provide a biological basis for empathy and understanding intentions, they do not fully explain moral behavior. Moral decision-making also involves higher cognitive processes like conscious thought, cultural influences, and personal values. Some scholars argue that moral behavior cannot be reduced to just neural mechanisms, highlighting the complexity of ethics as a mix of emotional, cognitive, and social factors. From the perspective of ethics and morality, mirror neurons contribute to the emotional experiences that support moral behavior. They help explain why we often feel driven to act altruistically or avoid causing harm. However, moral behavior ultimately comes from the interplay between these neural processes and thoughtful reasoning about right and wrong, responsibility, and the consequences of our actions. Understanding the role of mirror neurons can inform ways to enhance empathy and moral sensitivity. This could be through education or therapy aimed at improving social understanding and reducing harmful behaviors. Yet, ethical behavior requires more than just empathy. It needs conscious reflection and a commitment to moral principles that go beyond automatic responses from our brains.